Hey, what's up, everybody? We'll play a little Bach just to get started. It's always good to get started when I'm rusty. Nice. Wanted you guys to know we got a new instrument in. This is so exciting, especially during a time when everything's changing, right? We've had, as you guys know, we've heard a lot of questions about, hey, when are we going to have Vipers? When are Vipers coming? We need Vipers. Everybody wants a Viper, Viper, Viper. Supply's been real tight on those, and we're going to talk about this for just a minute, but there's some really exciting developments. There is a new product called the Viper Classic. I got one on my arm right now. I've been playing it, and there's a picture on the screen. You can see pricing there. That price that you're seeing is a lot lower than what you guys have been seeing on these instruments. And it's because we've come up with some ways to get these things to you guys easier and quicker than we have in the past. So rather than me just talking about this, let's bring in the guy who invented this thing. He's in his studio in Port Washington, New York. We got Mr. Mark Wood right here with us.
And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Big applause.
Yeah, I got to get the sound effect right.
Yeah, applause button.
Yeah, I've got one somewhere. I just can't find that thing. I need to bring that up whenever I'm just practicing in the middle of something. So, yeah, how's everything in New York?
Just what you would think. It's total lockdown. And the beauty is that my luthiers were able to still work in their private studios at home. So we just are traveling, moving Vipers around and cellos and violins back and forth between things. And they live fairly close together. So this classic Viper is a really cool product because we have the bodies now on the classic Vipers only, built overseas. They're shipped to us. And then we do all the setups with our luthiers here just to speed up the process, as you said, because it's just challenging. The orders that we have from Vipers is so exciting, and they're built by hand in New York, as you know, by our luthiers. And we're just like, we got to get a product that moves a little faster. And with our entry-level pickup, which is our TruTone wood pickup, and 5 strings or 4 strings red. And Matt, you've got a black one.
Yep.
And by the way, that Bach was pretty awesome. I don't think I could play Bach like that.
Now with gloves on, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I wanted to keep this instrument particularly clean right out of a shop. But once they get to your hands, man, go for it. Go for it. I don't know if you can hear it. My Bach technique is not as good as yours, Mike.
I don't know about all that. I've heard you play Bach.
But give me the wah-wah pedal and I'm happy. So yes, the instruments are set up exactly the way we usually do Vipers. It comes in this great gig bag, and it has a certificate in here that comes with the instruments, that we were very careful about handling the instruments. But it does feature the most important part of our Vipers, Matt, which you're very well aware of. It's the self-supporting. It's a life changer for me to be able to put the instrument on and have the instrument floating on my body like this. I hate to tell you this, but I'm on my 45th year of playing. I have no pain, except my hands are purple for some weird reason from playing so much. So my whole body is free, and we've been seeing these incredible videos, including yours, by the way. We are so excited, all these projects you're doing on your Viper, and we're just seeing these duets with Vipers. It's really cool to be part of this really cool way with these artists that really want to explore something new, especially the way they hold the instrument. It's not like this anymore. It's more like this. So, I invented this. In fact, you can sort of see behind me is my museum. All of those instruments will probably be at the Smithsonian Institute someday. Those are the ones that I built when I was in high school 50 years ago, and it's really cool to be able to have that. And we're going to do a program with you showcasing the history from day one when I was 12 years old and doing the first 5-string, 6-string, 7-string, putting frets on an instrument. It was really cool.
Yeah, man. So, just so people know what's going on with Viper Supply, it's funny because I'll just sit here with the thing strapped on because it's comfortable. It doesn't, you know.
So, when you order an instrument from us, it's pretty much a customized situation from paint jobs to laminates. So the classic Viper, I really am happy that we can really get these on the market for the people who really want to explore that sensibility. And Matt, as you said, the sensibility is what I'm really interested in, and the aesthetic. Sensibility is real important as a performer. You're a performer, I'm a performer. I'm on stage with my instruments. And when I used to see Jimi Hendrix and Jimmy Page and Jeff Beck, the physical relationship of the instrument to their bodies was so cool to watch. And then I watched the great Jascha Heifetz, and it was like he was crushing the instrument with tension and stress. And it was beautiful music. It was difficult to sort of digest when you would just see a guitar player, a drummer, a bass player play with such fluidity. So it's really interesting. I was like, man, I got to figure out a way to get a self-supporting. And again, on the back wall, man, is the very first one that when I built that, when I was 20 years old, I was like, oh, this is not needing a chin rest. Oh, my God, this is going to be perfect. And that changed everything for me as a player. And for many years, as you know, I didn't want to build them for anybody. I wanted to be the only person in the world to have my weird instruments. And luckily, I was smart enough to share it. And then 25 years, Wood Violins, 26 years, Wood Violins have been around, supplying instruments to everybody like yourself and all these incredible artists that are exploring a new way of thinking. And you're getting me all excited about this. Check, I don't know if you saw it because you were at my home studio, but this was the instrument that changed everything. It's a dragon wing, of course. Got to have a dragon wing on your back. And then the strap, which is not on here, goes around my neck. And when I built this, it was a it ended up to be a 6-string. It's now a 4-string. And with a Barkus Berry pickup, from the 70s. And this thing changed my life because I was like, wow, this thing can hold itself up. And it looks really cool. But this was the very, very first one. I think it was 1974. 3 or something that this was constructed. So I'm really happy, and it really ended up to be an instrument that changed the way we think.
So I do want to talk about the difference between the custom Vipers and the Viper Classics. Sort of what is it that's differentiating those two? Well, one of the nice things about having the Viper Classic being where the bodies are a production body that are then finished by your guys in the shop is that you get all the advantages of the head-free. We've got the self-supporting. We've got the really incredible look of the Viper. The custom ones can just come in any imaginable color and customization: 4-string, 5-string, 6-string, 7-string, fretted, fretless, Barbera or TruTone pickup. But the problem is that it slows everything down in production because there are so many different possible configurations. So to speed things up with these production Vipers, to get some Vipers flowing on the street, and to free up your custom shop, the Viper Classic is only 4 or 5 strings, no frets, only the TruTone pickup, no Barbera, and either red or black. So those are the choices. Now that's still a lot of SKUs,
right?
But it's a little more limited so that we can start rolling things out faster and start to satisfy that demand.
Exactly, Matt. I think it's important that every company sort of goes through that growth period where we really, in the last couple of years, have really exploded in our growth to the point where we're overwhelmed. But luckily, our luthiers in New York, and of course, anything that's manufactured in America and in New York, it's a very different experience. There's more overhead. It's a very different type of business model. So I was like, man, we got to get these things out. And working with you and Electric Violin Shop is a tremendous honor for me to be able to showcase our instruments through you guys. I trust you guys that you're the absolute experts, and we bow down to you guys. We love you guys.
Yeah, it's a mutual admiration society for sure.
Applause, applause.
So sort of when people ask me about the difference in sound between a Barbera and a TruTone, the Barbera is a much thicker, meatier, more powerful tone that I think is really for guys like me that are rock guys, and most of my playing was heavy distortion, and I want lots and lots of those fat undertones, and I'm really not that concerned with sounding like an acoustic violin.
Right. Right.
The TruTone is it's a much purer sound. The Barbera's much thicker. The TruTone is a more focused sound. It's thin. It sounds. I don't like the word thin because it has bad connotations, but it's not as wide a sound. It's a little more focused, a little brighter, and it does have more of what people hear of that. It's that when people say I want it to sound like an acoustic.
Right.
I never really know what people mean by that, because when I'm thinking about an acoustic sound, I'm hearing like the wooden body creaking, and I guess people are hearing something else when they talk about that. But I think just the tonality of this, if you look on it in a spectrograph, you're going to see pretty similar overtones to an acoustic violin.
Absolutely, Matt. And also, Matt, you can swap out any pickup on the classic Vipers. If you want a Barbera, just reach out to Rich and he'll put one on, or you can put one on. So these, you can put anything, Starfish, Barbera, our pickup, it doesn't really matter. But we deliver them with a good pickup so they can start with that.
Well, thank you so much for everything you do, Mark. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to let you slide out. Give my love to Laura and Elijah and everybody. And
yes, you too, my friend.
We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, next week we'll probably do a panel with you.
Sounds great.
Peace and love.
Thanks, Mark.